It's Week 7 of the NFL on CBS. We join you today from Pittsburgh. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Pittsburgh Steelers out of the AFC North. Look at the standings. Cincinnati, last second win in Detroit. The Bengals are 5-2. Baltimore trying to keep pace, and Pittsburgh trying to get out of the cellar within the division. Today's game is being broadcast in Spanish where available using the SAP button on your television. Our weather here in Pittsburgh, temperature 56 degrees, partly cloudy skies. Very comfortable in the late afternoon. It will move into the early evening late in this one. It's the next chapter in what has been the most intense rivalry in the NFL over the last 10-plus years. Baltimore won the toss. They defer to the second half. They kick it off to Pittsburgh. Tucker. And it curls through to the end zone. And a touchback. Steelers will have it at the 20 with Ben Roethlisberger. Steelers got their first win of the season last week, 19-6 victory over the Jets.
And he knows that whatever happens today, whoever wins this game, that come Monday morning, he is going to be sore because this is always a very physical matchup. And the way that Terrell Suggs and Elvis Dumerville bring the heat, getting the ball out fast, will be critical if the Steelers are going to succeed today.
Mike Adams is getting the start with an extra offensive lineman, and we'll see a lot of that for Pittsburgh. Just trying to find some kind of rhythm in the running game. Both of these teams have really struggled on the ground. Roethlisberger, first play from scrimmage, throws underneath. He's got Antonio Brown. It's a first down across the 30-yard line, touched by Webb. 13-yard gain. Look at the Pittsburgh offense. That left tackle position has been a huge area of concern. Kelvin Beachum is getting the start once again. They're hoping to find a permanent resident at that position. Le'Veon Bell, they still have high hopes for the rookie out of Michigan State. Bell has been able to shake off that right foot injury that cost him the first 3 games of the season. It's Bell and Johnson in the backfield. New set of downs for Pittsburgh to work with. And a flag comes down. Bill Levy, veteran referee.
False start. Number 77 offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's the right side of that Pittsburgh offensive line. Marcus Gilbert called on the penalty. Baltimore defensively, question marks about Chris Canty, whether or not he would be available. He is. Canty dealing with a thigh injury. Linebackers, Arthur Brown in for the injured Josh Bynes. Jameel McClain has been activated. Tremendous story coming off the PUP list. And Lardarius Webb bouncing back from that ACL injury. And it's had some rough spots in the early part of the season. Bell, the vision, and Bell angles to the outside. Brought down by Arthur Jones. It's a 6-yard gain for Le'Veon Bell.
That is huge for Le'Veon Bell, averaging just 2.8 yards per carry so far, but finished the game last week against the Jets very strongly when the Steelers had to run the clock out and hang on to that win. So this is a good start for Bell with 6 yards on that gain.
Now we asked Mike Tomlin about Bell. He said he can handle all situations, very good in blitz pickups, excellent in the screen game, and that's been a huge part of Pittsburgh's repertoire offensively. Bell, nice cut by Bell. After the initial wave defensively, Bell was able to accelerate for 8. And Pittsburgh across the 40-yard line.
Yeah, the vision here as he comes to the left side and then bounces back to this side. It's because it's a real good job up front. DeCastro taking on Darrell Smith, pushing him to the inside. And there's the vision and explosion to get close to a first down.
And that north-south running style, and Bell has now gone over 100 yards on the season. The Steelers, you talk about having 100-yard rushers. That's not for a game. That was for the season through 5 games. They had not had a player go over 100 yards. 3rd and 1. Roethlisberger steps up. Roethlisberger, a little floater. Nobody home. He put it over the head of Heath Miller, who was in the vicinity, and the punting unit will come on for Pittsburgh.
Well, Roethlisberger trying to extend the play, looking for his, as he calls it, its comfort blanket. Heath Miller down the middle. But there's a lot of contact in the secondary. Miller working against Hedebo.
Was Kellen Winslow your comfort blanket in San Diego? Or your security blanket?
More security than comfort.
Zoltan Mesko, the punt. Tandon Das, the return man. And Das ducks out of bounds just short of the 35-yard line. Joe Flacco. Last week, a 19-17 loss to Green Bay. Flacco put up a lot of yards, 342, but the Ravens are 0-3 this season when he throws for 300 yards plus.
And it was interesting when yesterday he came into our meeting, told us how much he enjoys coming here to Heinz Field and all the byplay with these rabid Steeler fans. And because both teams have been to the top, that adds that much more to this already heated rivalry.
Flacco said he feeds off of the atmosphere here in Pittsburgh. First down for Baltimore. Flacco slapped away. It was up for grabs, and a good play there by Michael Orr to make sure it wasn't intercepted by Woodley.
Yeah, two great plays on this short pass play. First, Woodley is going to get up in the air right here, and then Michael Orr is going to come over, sees the ball in the air after the deflection, and saves a touchdown.
Running play for Ray Rice, and he runs into a crowd. 1 yard gain to the 35. Let's get an NFL Today update to New York. JB and the coach.
Coach, how did the Jets do it?
An unsportsmanlike conduct call gave Nick Folk a second attempt from 42 yards out. He makes it, and the New York Jets win in overtime over the New England Patriots.
Jets improved to 4-3. Back to Baltimore and Pittsburgh, Ian and Dan.
And guys, just the unpredictable nature of this league week in and week out. Flacco, protection holds up initially, steps up, Flacco throws, incomplete. Torrey Smith got his hand on it. And Baltimore goes 3 and out on its first series of the day.
This is a great matchup all day long. Torrey Smith working on Ike Taylor. Smith trying to find an open spot in the field. Look at Taylor right on his back the whole way.
And these two teams have been slow starters throughout this early portion of the season. Pittsburgh's been outscored 37-12 in first quarter action. The Ravens have been outscored 18-10. Cook the punt. Antonio Brown waits for it. Returnable. Here's Brown. Out across the 40-yard line for Antonio Brown. A 43-yard punt. And a 19-yard return as McClain just made the play on special teams. This bitter rivalry since 2008, it's all even at 5-5. Maybe the names change, some of the faces change, but the intensity is still there throughout.
Well, for the Steelers, it's a chance to get back-to-back wins for the first time this season. And the Ravens, a win over Pittsburgh, it'll put them 2.5 games ahead of the hated Steelers.
John Harbaugh told us it always seems to come down to one play. Baltimore's defense in Pittsburgh or the Steelers' offense in Baltimore. Mike Tomlin said it's Ravens week. It's different. You don't have to talk about it. It's understood. Bell, the drive right through the middle. Out across midfield and a first down. Blocks from DeCastro and Gilbert for Pittsburgh. It's a 10-yard gain for the rookie.
Well, here's DeCastro, the other rookie, doing another fine job on the linebackers there, and then getting out in front is Gilbert in a 10-yard gain and a first down on first down. Great field position thanks to that nice punt return by Antonio Brown.
They're young on that right side. DeCastro now in his second year out of Stanford. Gilbert's in his third year from Florida. Just underway here in Pittsburgh. No score. The Steelers and the Ravens. Pittsburgh now in Baltimore territory. On the slant to Brown. And another short gainer, 6 yards. And that's how they work it in the passing game right now. Underneath, allow their receivers to catch and run because they've got raw speed.
Well, and what Antonio Brown gives you is he gives you, we've already seen it on the punt return, there's a special skill there to be able to run in space, make people miss. So the key is to get him the ball as soon as possible in space so he can use those sets of skills.
Antonio Brown is putting up big numbers. And now Roethlisberger goes to the outside. Out of the Wildcat, Brown running on the interior. Le'Veon Bell working the Wildcat, a 3-yard pickup for Antonio Brown on the running play.
Now this is where Roethlisberger says that we've got to try some things to open up the running attack. That was a short gain, but still it gives them a 3rd down and short to work with. A positive play, and it came with a trick play.
Once again going with extra offensive linemen, something we're going to see quite a bit. Guy whimpers it. Again, Roethlisberger will go to the outside.
Go.
Le'Veon Bell. He'll do it himself. Bell finds the hole. And a juke move for 6 yards. And a new set of downs to the 35 of the Ravens.
That kind of a read option type of play by Bell. Showed great patience there, waiting for his blocking to develop, and then got up the field and almost got a block from his quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, out wide.
Le'Veon Bell had 1,740 yards and 12 touchdowns as a junior at Michigan State last season. First quarter action from Heinz Field in this heated rivalry. The Steelers and the Ravens. No score. 1st and 10. Roethlisberger steps up. He'll fling it towards the sideline. Incomplete. Will Johnson was in the vicinity.
They caught it.
Wow, Johnson fielding it like a punt.
And Steelers getting to the line of scrimmage quickly. Now they're waving it off. One of the officials comes in and waves it off. And that's a good call. It clearly bounced on the ground.
So the wobbly floater from Roethlisberger. Johnson was just fortunate to even be in that spot. Yeah, clearly incomplete.
Yeah, the line judge, Mark Perlman, he called it complete, but he was blocked out by Johnson's body. He got some help from a side judge coming in and showing him clearly that that ball hit the ground.
Mike Tomlin looking at it on the big screen, realizing that that ball was free and never secured by Will Johnson. 2nd and 10 now for Pittsburgh. Here's Bell. The stutter step. And Bell is wrapped up just short of the 30-yard line by Chris Canty. A 4.5-yard gain for Bell. Pittsburgh Steelers 3-9 in their last 12 games going back to last season. Last week defensively they put the clamps on the Jets. 267 yards they held New York to. Baltimore has won 13 of its last 15 games within the division. But scoring in the first half has been the problem for the Ravens. 16 first half points in their last 5 games. 3rd and 6 now for Pittsburgh. Rush is coming. Roethlisberger in the pocket. Finds the open man right over the middle. And it's the dependable Jericho Cotchery. First down for the Steelers inside the 15. Brought down by Jimmy Smith of Baltimore.
Roethlisberger looking to the right side. Now he swings his eyes back to the middle. That's where he finds Cotchery wide open in front of Jimmy Smith. 19 yards and inside the red zone now for the Steelers. This is a good drive for Pittsburgh, and Roethlisberger well protected on that pass play.
Roethlisberger said we're going to give Baltimore a lot of different looks, keep them on their toes, moving receivers inside, outside. We've already seen it on this drive from Pittsburgh. First down for the Steelers. Under 7 minutes to go in this opening quarter. Out of the gun. Roethlisberger has the time, delivers. Caught inside the 5. Cotchery again. That one covers 9 yards for the Steelers.
This is where Cotchery does his best work. It's right over the middle. Again, it's great pass protection as the Ravens rush 4. Drop 7 into the secondary. Look at that pivot away from coverage by Cotchery. Makes that catch in front of Corey Graham down to the 4. And again, the offensive line doing a super job against this Raven pass rush.
Marcus Gilbert is out of the game. Guy Whimper is in. Long drive for the Steelers, trying to get on the board first. 2nd down for Pittsburgh. Back to the ground game. Bell hit down low by Webb and just may have saved a touchdown.
Outstanding tackle by number 21, Lardarius Webb. Watch him go low on Bell, take both his legs. The Ravens have allowed just 1 touchdown on the ground all season long because of plays like that.
Baltimore has played defense at a playoff level. John Harbaugh said maybe the numbers don't necessarily show that. 10th play of the drive. This is 3rd and short now for the Steelers. Motion man is Miller. On third down. Little shovel. Miller plows in for the touchdown. Steelers strike first.
That's the first touchdown catch of the season for Heath Miller. And a rather unusual one. Watch number 83. He's going to get right in behind Ramon Foster here. Foster makes a key block there, and Miller goes in untouched.
Heath Miller, they missed him early in the season because of injury. One of the best tight ends in the NFL, combo tight ends, receiving, blocking, squeezing the extra point. 10 plays, 60 yards. Miller has now gone 79 straight games with a catch. And it's Pittsburgh on the board first. Roethlisberger to Miller. 7-0 Steelers. Two-time Pro Bowler Heath Miller with the touchdown culminates that 10-play drive, 40th career reception for a touchdown, passing Lewis Lips for 5th all-time in Steelers history. Jacoby Jones is deep. Sweezum the kickoff. And Jones is going to take it back from the 3 originally. Jones slithers his way to the 24, hit by Will Johnson on special teams. We'll see the Baltimore offense on the field when we come back to Pittsburgh.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Papa John's, official pizza sponsor of the NFL. And by Ford. Only Ford gives you EcoBoost fuel economy and a whole lot more.
And back here in Pittsburgh, that duck has been very popular here in the Pittsburgh area. And this is the final day that it'll be showcased in the Steel City.
It may be on its way to the national championship game.
Really?
Maybe.
That's an Oregon thing. Flacco on a dump off to Ray Rice. Just trying to get Rice involved here as he picks up 6 yards in the passing game. Pittsburgh with a 7-0 lead on Baltimore. You've looked at this Baltimore offense in recent weeks. What's been the problem in the running game and with Rice?
Well, a lot of changes on that offensive line, and for Rice, it's having to overcome the hip flexor injury, which bothers him side to side, and also trying to break tackles.
And there is Rice taking it to the 30 for no gain, brought down by Cortez Allen. Look at the offense. Gino Gradkowski, a Pittsburgh native, back home out of Seton LaSalle High School, about 15 minutes away from Heinz Field. Backs and receivers, Jacoby Jones. Back from the injury. Jones played last week, caught a touchdown. Harbaugh said, though, it still will be limited on offense for Jones. They're not going to overuse him. 4 receivers set. This is a 3rd and 4. Dime package for Pittsburgh. We come up on 4 minutes to go in this first quarter. Operating out of the gun is Flacco. Steps and fires. On time. Tandon Das coming off his best game as a pro. 4 catches, 99 yards last week, including a 63-yard reception. That one covers 22 from Flacco.
Well, watch Joe Cool with all this pressure coming at him. A 5-man rush. He finds Doss inside on that coverage there, working on the rookie, Thomas Shamarko. 22 yards on the gain, and the ball in Steeler territory.
Tandon Das in his 3rd year in the league out of Indiana on first down. Marlon Brown, the rookie, gets stamped. It's Shamarko Thomas with a hit and a 3-yard gain. Defensively for Pittsburgh, Cameron Hayward now a part of the starting lineup, replacing Ziggy Hood. Jason Worlds is in. Jarvis Jones is out with a concussion. And in the secondary, Troy Polamalu. He has been in so many of these battles through the years against the Baltimore Ravens. 2nd and 7 now, Baltimore in Pittsburgh territory at the 45. Flacco, little delay for Rice. And Rice leans in for a 3-yard pickup, met by Timmons and Cortez Allen for Pittsburgh.
Troy Polamalu in that type of defense there was playing linebacker. We're going to see it's basically, where's Waldo type of game when you have the Steelers And this great player, he'll line up just about anywhere on the defense and plays every position extremely well.
We asked Rice, what have you seen from this Pittsburgh defense? He said it's still Dick LeBeau. His scheme is his scheme. It's the same style of football despite some changes. Ed Dixon. Dixon with the catch in the first down. 6-yard gain to the 35 of Pittsburgh.
Just the 6th catch of the year for Dixon. He's had his troubles catching the ball, but this ball perfectly thrown away from the defense in full stride for Dixon. Another first down for the Ravens. A good drive underway for Flacco and the Ravens.
7th play of the drive. Nickel package. Flacco underneath again. He gets Dallas Clark, the veteran tight end, into the fray here. A 6-yard pickup. Now inside the 30.
And you can just see how Flacco's getting more comfortable working with Dallas Clark and with Ed Dixon. The loss of Dennis Pitta was tough to overcome first part of the year. Flacco now 5 for 5 on this drive.
Pitta out with a hip fracture. This is now a 2nd and 4 for Baltimore. Running play. Rice able to shed one tackler, and then Rice accelerates just short of the 25. 3-yard gain for Rice. Lamar Woodley in on that stop for the Steelers. We come up on 1 minute to go in the first.
Yeah, we talked earlier about Rice and that hip flexor. You know, he relies so much on his cutting ability and then his explosiveness at the point of a tackle. He's starting to get healthy now. Told us yesterday he's 100%. That was a good example as he jump cut to the right and then lowered his head to pick up yardage.
3rd and 1. Pierce is now in there for Baltimore. Can Pierce get the first down? He cannot. Spilled out behind the line of scrimmage. William Gay forcing the issue defensively. It's a loss of 1 for Baltimore.
Well, the Steelers are going to string this one out. Here's Ziggy Hood right in here. Watch him move and get inside there of Gino Gradkowski and along with McClendon.
46-yard attempt now for Justin Tucker. 12 of 14 on the season. Ravens looking for points. 46-yarder Tucker. He knocks it through. It's 7-3 Steelers. 5 seconds left. First quarter. The Ravens and the Steelers on CBS. Steelers with a 7-3 lead over Baltimore. Ian Eagle along with Dan Fouts. Normally in this matchup there's a lot on the line, and there still is. It's just a little different circumstances with the team struggling a bit to start the season. You know, it's called Steeler Week in Baltimore. It's called Ravens Week in Pittsburgh. A lot of history here.
Well, the fact that so early in the season yet, but Cincinnati won today, so that makes this game even much more important. But you can feel the intensity. There's no question that the coaches have an easy job this week in preparation. No motivation necessary for either Mike Tomlin or John Harbaugh when it comes to this rivalry.
Baltimore feels as if they can really knock the Steelers out of contention completely with a win and move them to 1-5. Felix Jones, good return. Jones still going. Down at the 40-yard line in our final play of this opening quarter in Pittsburgh. Steelers 7, Ravens 3. We'll come back to Heinz Field after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right. And by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Aerial coverage of today's action provided by DirecTV. Marcus Gilbert, a quad injury, so Guy Wimper is in for him. Mike Adams also in there for Pittsburgh. It's a handoff. Le'Veon Bell. Bell takes it to the 49, a 9-yard gain. Fernando Velasco, the center, creating some space. This is a Steelers team that has not been able to run it. They've been effective in this first half, Dan.
You can see the big elbow brace on the left arm of Haloti Ngata as he gets double teamed there. And then a good lead block by Will Johnson And Bell and this running attack for the Steelers is off to a great start today.
305 rushing yards through 5 games for the Steelers, the fewest for the franchise going back to 1950. Stutter step, it's Bell again. And a first down across the 45 of Baltimore, 8-yard gain. Cincinnati getting the win over Detroit. Bengals are 5-2, leading the AFC North. Baltimore at 3-3, Cleveland 3-3, and the Pittsburgh Steelers at 1-4. Steelers were 0-4 before the win against the Jets last week. That was their worst start since 1968. Losses to Tennessee, Cincinnati, Chicago, and Minnesota in London. First down for the Steelers in Baltimore territory. It's Bell. With a head of steam, Le'Veon Bell across the 40 as we send it to New York. NFL Today update. It's JB and Coach Cowher.
Packers out front by 14.
Yeah, another rookie running back last week, over 100 yards today. Eddie Lacy, 1 yard out. Green Bay jumps up early, 14-0 over Green Bay.
Monspot tells me I can dust off the bird and the beard.
I have no idea where they got that logo. Do we make ice cream? Where is that from exactly?
All I know is they took the gray out of my beard. I like that.
That's a great shot of you from 1983. 2nd and 5. Play fake. Roethlisberger with time. Roethlisberger out of bounds. Antonio Brown catches it.
But you know, the one thing that the Steelers have accomplished already in this ballgame is they've got the Ravens on their toes a little bit, not knowing what to expect. We've already seen Todd Haley, offensive coordinator, with the Wildcat formation, trusting the rookie Bell to handle those duties. That last drive, they were 3 for 3 on 3rd down, something that really struggled with all year.
Currently ranked 18th overall in total offense, 27th in the league in scoring, 17.6 points per game. 3rd and 5 now for Pittsburgh. From the gun, Roethlisberger. Protection is there. Roethlisberger firing. Throw! Handled! Derek Moy, big target out of Penn State. 6'5", and he climbs the imaginary ladder for 16.
Well, because he's 6'5", Ben knows that he can put it up in the air, even if it's double coverage, which is here. Watch the safety come over Elam and just cartwheel Moy as he hangs on. Huge catch. And lucky he didn't get hurt.
So the Steelers in business in the red zone. Line of scrimmage is the 19. Bell, the single setback. Pittsburgh with a 7-3 lead on Baltimore. Bell trying to bust it to the outside, and he is thrown down by Dumervil. No gain on the play. Dumervil a little bit slow getting up.
Yeah, he grabbed his right knee, and he's going to go to the sidelines. There's the tackle on Bell. And now just getting pushed over backwards. His own man kind of knocked into him. That was Marcus Spears.
7th play of the drive for Pittsburgh. 2nd and 10 now for the Steelers. Shotgun, pump. Roethlisberger in trouble. Roethlisberger devoured by Brandon Williams, the rookie out of Missouri Southern, with his first career sack. Loss of 5.
That's the first sack of his career. 3rd round pick out of Missouri Southern. Roethlisberger trying to extend the play. Didn't like it on the right side, and then tried to escape to the left and actually ran into the sack there by Brandon Williams.
He is the 10th different Raven to record a sack this season. Timeout for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 10:53 mark. 2nd quarter. Steelers in front. Team that came in 2nd to last in rushing, the Pittsburgh Steelers, averaging 61 rushing yards per game. They've got 61 already. We're early in the 2nd quarter. Roethlisberger. Le'Veon Bell making something there out of what could have been A loss on the play. Haloti Ngata with the stop, and it's Bell 4-yard pickup. Looked like a miscommunication there.
Yeah, it was not a well-executed play. In fact, it looked like Roethlisberger, after he handed the ball to Bell, was trying to direct him. Oh, you run over here. Too late.
Sean Sweezamon, 39-yard attempt. He is 10 of 10 this season. Zoltan Mesko will hold it. Greg Warren, the snapper, and a jump. Shockey Brown on the left side for Baltimore.
Unabated. Number 23 defense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Just a bit offsides. Lucky for Shockey Brown, it didn't pick up a first down.
So Sweezum will get another attempt. Shorter one of 34 yards.
Sweezum will attempt a 34-yard field goal.
Pittsburgh looking for a 10-3 lead. Sweezum connects. Just under 10 minutes to play in this first half. Pittsburgh has built on its lead at home against the Ravens. Coming up, Verizon Halftime Report. JB and the rest of the gang. The latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. Back here in Pittsburgh, Old Dominion and Pitt played on this field last night. And it looks a little roughed up, to say the least. Sweezum kicking it off to Jacoby Jones. And the ball just sits there. Ravens were fortunate to get it. Steelers claim they've got it.
Vontae Leach has got it at the bottom of that pile, but that was a real little chip shot there with a little backspin. And real close to being a huge disaster for the Ravens.
And Baltimore will have it. Vontae Leach. Leach came flying in. The ball squirted loose. And then Ravens were able to jump on it at the end. Baltimore has posted 3 straight wins here in Pittsburgh. They trail 10-3. Second quarter action. Flacco throws to Marlon Brown. And Brown with the catch at across the 20-yard line. Catch a special episode of TV's #1 comedy, The Big Bang Theory, followed by the sharp and funny new comedy, Mom. It all starts tomorrow at 9, 8 Central, only CBS. Bernard Pierce in the backfield after the 9-yard pickup to Brown. On 2nd and 1 for the Ravens. Running play, Pierce finds the lane, and he's got a first down for Baltimore. Good block by Yonda, 5-yard pickup for the second-year running back from Temple. Baltimore struggles in the running game, not just Rice, but Pierce as well. Rushes of 2 yards or fewer this season. Pierce and Rice, 60% for Pierce, 56% for Rice. Those are not numbers you want to lead the NFL in.
Yeah, Rice, 4 carries, 8 yards so far.
Shotgun for Flacco. On first down, dump off for Pierce. And Bernard Pierce banged down across the 35 by Lawrence Timmons.
And it's been the case throughout this early season for the Ravens. It's going to be on Joe Flacco with a lack of a running attack. He started the game 0 for 2, but he's hit his last 7. And he's getting time to find that check down receiver in Pierce.
We mentioned that when Flacco goes over 300 yards this season, the Ravens are 0-3. Before this season, the Ravens were 12-1 when Flacco threw for 300 plus. Flacco 7 out of 9. Running play, Pierce again, runs into a wall at the 40, but he's got a first down. Polamalu, first man there for Pittsburgh, 3-yard pickup for Pierce.
Just enough to pick up the first down to keep the drive alive. This is a good drive considering they started back in their own end of the field.
This is a Baltimore team that's 22-9 in the division under John Harbaugh, now in his 6th year as the head coach. Harbaugh talked about the struggles on 1st and 2nd down. Flacco hit. The arm was hit.
That was Cortez Allen coming on the corner blitz with enough speed to get to Flacco.
Allen, a big corner at 6'1".
Watch the quickness of Cortez Allen. Totally unblocked. Pierce comes over late, and just the left hand enough to get to Flacco's right hand.
So 2nd and 10 now for Baltimore. 7:33 to play in this fast-moving first half. Flacco over the middle. Finds a soft spot. Ed Dixon leaning forward into Pittsburgh territory. 11-yard hookup as Timmons and Polamalu combined to bring down the tight end. Harbaugh said the fact that the team's been able to score as many points as they have this season is a testament to Joe Flacco.
Especially the way they've struggled on 1st and 2nd downs.
Flacco pointing out the defense. Big 7-point lead for Pittsburgh under 7 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. On the ground, Ray Rice. Rice like he was shot out of a cannon. Ray Rice came in his longest run of the season, 14 yards. That was 13 as Michael Orr created a little extra room for Rice to work with.
Yeah, Michael Orr, and here's Orr, 74, getting out with a good seal block there. Ed Dixon kicks out on Woodley.
Yeah.
Good run by Ray Rice.
Ravens working quickly here. 8th play of the drive. Now Flacco will make a change. Flacco to throw it. Offline. Torrey Smith, the intended receiver on the outside. Hey, fantasy football fans, check out CBSSports.com Player Challenge, a new 4-week game with a cash prize in every league. See rules and sign up at CBSSports.com/challenge. Rice remains in there against this Pittsburgh defense. Steelers come in ranked number 6 in team defense, 18th in points allowed. It's Rice. Not much to work with. He picks up 2 yards up the gut.
Well, Flacco has 8 completions so far in this game. He spread it around pretty good to 6 different receivers, but he's only targeted Torrey Smith 1 time. Smith, the leading receiver and the most dangerous of the Raven receivers, averaging 20 yards per catch, and no catches so far.
You know, the general feeling around this Baltimore offense this season is it's been kind of all or nothing. They haven't had those long, sustained drives that they've been known for in previous years because of the lack of the running game. 3rd and 8 now from the gun. Flacco is flushed out. Flacco is sacked! Lamar Woodley busting through for the Steelers. And now the Ravens certainly out of field goal range.
Watch the block here, or the missed block by Ray Rice. Trying to go low on Woodley. Woodley will pick up his 5th sack of the season. Here's the coverage on Torrey Smith. Good job by Cortez Allen. 10-yard loss there. Pushed the Ravens out of field goal range.
Sam Cook will punt it. Antonio Brown waiting for it at the 10. Averaging 7 yards per return with a long of 40, and a flag is down. Play clock had run out.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Mike Tomlin talked about the growth from the young players on defense, now playing more instinctive. Said that Vince Williams had his best game at that inside linebacker position, replacing the injured Larry Foote. Cook will boot it on 4th down. Rush coming. They handle it. Brown, fair catch called for, and he brings it in at the 8-yard line. Strong first half so far for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've got a 10-3 lead on the Baltimore Ravens.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Pfizer. DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. And by Acura. Discover more about the Acura RLX at Acura.com/RLX.
What a big piece of Pittsburgh sports history. Bill Mazeroski Game-winning home run. World Series winning home run in 1960. Handoff to Felix Jones going up the middle. And Jones picks up 3 yards on the play. A top NCIS agent could hit rock bottom. New episode of TV's #1 show, NCIS. That's Tuesday at 8, 7 Central, only CBS. Well, the running game so far for Pittsburgh, second to last in the NFL entering action at 61 yards per game. Only Jacksonville worse, 64 yards today. Jones getting an opportunity here. The 6-year veteran, Le'Veon Bell, has been very effective for Pittsburgh. Roethlisberger set it up for Antonio Brown, but Brown did not have the necessary room to get to the outside and turn it upfield. They'll have to settle for the 5-yard pickup.
Well, this is what they want to do, though, is get Brown in space, get him the ball quickly. Hopefully he'll get a better block out there by his fellow wide receiver. Just too many Ravens there as Webb and Corey Graham combine to keep Brown from busting a big one.
30 catches in his last 3 games. That ties a Steeler record for the most catches over a 3-game span, matching Hines Ward. 3rd and 2 now for Pittsburgh. It'll be Jones. And Jones squeezing through for the first down. 3-yard pickup for Jones. The former Dallas Cowboy, Terrell Suggs, holding on to him, but Jones had enough strength to move the chains.
Well, it's because he got lower than Suggs. Watch as he hits the line. Suggs fighting with Heath Miller, but there's the pad level going down, and too much for Suggs fighting the tight end and still trying to make a tackle. Good, smart run by Felix Jones.
Terrell Suggs, 15.5 career sacks against Ben Roethlisberger. Ben did not play in the Steeler-Raven matchups last year because of shoulder trouble and a rib injury. Roethlisberger throwing. Out on the perimeter, he connects with Emmanuel Sanders. It was brought down quickly by Lardarius Webb. It's a 7-yard gain through the air.
A little 3-step drop, get the ball out quickly, and the Steelers have to be very happy with the way they're executing Todd Haley's offense here in the first half.
We're coming up on 2 minutes to go in this second quarter. 144 total yards for Pittsburgh. Baltimore's been held to 92. It's Jones again. This time he has stood up. Arthur Brown, first man there. Give him a gain of 2 on the play, and we hit the 2-minute warning. First half winding down, a 10-3 advantage for the Steelers. Coming up, Verizon Halftime Report, JB and Company, the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. Steelers face a 3rd and 1 with 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. Jonathan Dwyer now in there. On 3rd down, Dwyer, a spin move. First down, Pittsburgh, 3-yard gain for Dwyer. Steelers will not huddle up here, running their 2-minute offense. The new set of downs for Pittsburgh to work with on the move here at the 33-yard line. Roethlisberger floats it over the middle to Le'Veon Bell. Bell, smart play, cuts to the outside and gets out of bounds. Chased by Corey Graham.
And a late flag on the sidelines over there by the Ravens bench.
Personal foul, face mask, number 26 of the offense. 15-yard penalty, repeat first down.
And a costly one for Bell and the Steelers, called on a face mask as he was veering to the outside.
Well, what happened is he didn't let go of the face mask. It's okay as a running back to give the straight arm as he does here, but watch him grab right there and pull Graham's head down. That draws the flag. A rookie mistake by Le'Veon Bell because he had what he wanted, getting out of bounds, getting a nice gain, but then hanging on to the face mask draws the flag.
So the Steelers are now backed up all the way to the 24-yard line after the penalty against Bell. 1:24 to go in this first half. Steelers have 2 timeouts left, now a 1st and 19. Bell Nice move by Bell as he's brought down at the 31. Kelvin Beachum with a block, 7-yard gain for Bell.
Interesting choice of play calls there for Todd Haley, with first and really long going with the draw play, but the clock's still running and the Steelers still in their own end of the field.
This is a Pittsburgh team that came in 3.1 yards per carry, the third lowest in the NFL. Jacksonville and Baltimore were the other two teams lower than them in that category. They're at 4.9 today. Roethlisberger steps up. He throws. It's handled by Miller. Oh, he loses the football. Scooped up by Elam, the rookie. And a game changer. Baltimore's got it inside the Pittsburgh 40.
And because it's a turnover, it will be reviewed whether Miller had the ball long enough after the catch. There's the catch. There's 2 steps, 3 steps. Yeah, that's a good play there. Ball knocked out by Darrell Smith, the 10-year veteran. Nice catch by Miller, but he didn't have time to protect it from the right hand of Darrell Smith and knocked it out.
What an addition Darrell Smith has turned out to be with Ray Lewis retiring. We'll take a look at it. 10-3, Pittsburgh in front.
Clearly a catch, 3 steps, and a strip by Darrell Smith.
So the Ravens take over. Pittsburgh's 7th lost fumble on the season. Ravens have it inside the Steelers' 40. Flacco throwing. And coming back for the football, it's caught by Jacoby Jones. And Baltimore will use a timeout. First down, Ravens. Just short of the 25. We've got 33 seconds left first half.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Domino's. Visit Domino's.com. And by State Farm. It pays to double check. Talk to your agent today.
10-3, Pittsburgh leading Baltimore. Ravens are driving with 33 seconds to go in this first half. Still with 2 timeouts to work with. Flacco throwing. Good hands. Dallas Clark stumbling to the sideline.
Great effort by Dallas Clark, laying out. He's got his left hand under the ball and gets out of bounds. Short gain, but a gain nonetheless. So stopping the clock, getting out of bounds.
Pick up a couple of yards. They're now inside the 25 of the Steelers. Shotgun for Flacco. Flacco rifles it over the middle. Torrey Smith makes a beeline for the perimeter. And Smith will pick up 4 yards on the play.
And this is where the Steelers' lack of a pass rush is just killing them. Came into the game with just 7 sacks. They've got 1 so far today. But Flacco now with really a lot of time, and he can survey the field at 6'6". He can see so easily over the pass rush. Found Smith that time.
The turnover by Heath Miller. Ravens trying to capitalize on it. A 3rd and 4. 21 seconds to go in the second quarter. Flacco on the move. Flacco looking downfield, and he'll throw it away. Not going to take any chances, and the field goal unit will come on for Baltimore. The pressure from Cameron Hayward.
And really good solid coverage in the secondary. Flacco looking and going through his progressions, wisely got out of the pocket and threw that away to preserve this 38-yard field goal attempt, now by Tucker. This has always been a notoriously tough end of the field to kick here at Heinz Field, but there's hardly any wind at all in his face.
Trying to cut into a Pittsburgh lead from 38 yards away. He splits the uprights. 10-6, Steelers. 8 seconds left, first half. We'll come back to the Steel City after this. 2014 Pro Bowl balloting is open for the first time ever. You can vote for the best players regardless of conference. Then Pro Football Hall of Famers Jerry Rice and Deion Sanders as alumni captains will draft unconference teams. Vote now for your favorite players at NFL.com/Pro Bowl ballot.
So you're telling me that Joe Flacco can be the quarterback on one team and a guy rushing him by the name of Terrell Suggs on the other team?
Yeah, that actually could happen, yeah.
Well, I'm tuning in to see that.
Yeah. Curiosity effect is high.
Wow.
Justin Tucker will put it on the ground. Caught at the 25-yard line by Cameron Hayward. And his dad.
Yeah, he looked like Ironhead there, didn't he?
The late Ironhead Hayward was an outstanding running back. Cameron, of course, a defensive lineman. 1 second remains on the clock. It's got that feel of Pittsburgh, Baltimore, 10-6 at halftime.
Yeah, it's that one play theory that we've been talking about. The big play, of course, the strip by Darryl Smith on the pass reception to Heath Miller. Good stand by the Steeler defense to keep the Ravens out of the end zone and just give up the Tucker field goal.
Tight formation. Roethlisberger will take a knee here. And that'll do it for the first half here in Pittsburgh. Steelers 10, Ravens 6. We'll come back. The Verizon halftime report is coming up after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Here in Pittsburgh, Ben Roethlisberger able to get the Steelers rolling in that first half. A crisp performance from Big Ben. And defensively, Pittsburgh has made life difficult on the Baltimore offense. We are at the break. And the Steelers leading the Ravens by the score of 10-6. Second half action is coming up. Diet Pepsi encourages fans to bid on pink gear to benefit the NFL's A Crucial Catch campaign. Show you're fan enough by visiting NFL.com/auction to bid for pink. And back here at Heinz Field, Ian Eagle along with Hall of Famer Dan Fouts, the Steelers and the Ravens. Sometimes it's very simple. Coming into this game, who could establish the run? Neither team has been able to do it throughout the season, and Pittsburgh was able to get the running game going a bit in that first half. Yeah,
and you talk about the dominance of the Steelers offensively and defensively, yet they're only up by 4 points.
Right.
That's the type of rivalry this is. The big play, though, at the end of the first half when Darryl Smith stripped the ball from Heath Miller was absolutely huge for Baltimore. Gives them a feeling that they're in this ball game, which they are. I mean, this is a rivalry game. We talked about how it's going to come down to the very end. And you look at the stats, the time of possession in the Steelers' favor because of that rushing attack, and that's good news for Steelers fans.
Not a strong showing by the rookie Le'Veon Bell in that first half. Bell goes for 68 yards on the ground. Ray Rice held to 23 yards in the first half. Baltimore will have the football to start the second half. So Sweezum will kick it off to Jacoby Jones. 3 career touchdowns off of kick returns. He's going to take this one out 2 yards deep. Jones looking for a crease, forced out of bounds just short of the 30-yard line. That's where Baltimore will open up in the second half. First half possessions for the Ravens. Punt, field goal, punt, and then the field goal after the Miller turnover.
Just 4 possessions because of the job the Steelers were able to do running the ball, keeping the Raven offense off the field. But Joe Flacco has got to get this offense rolling and find a way to get the ball to Torrey Smith.
11 of 16 in the first half for Flacco, 90 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Empty backfield, first play from scrimmage in the third quarter. Flacco gets rid of it quickly. Low throw is handled by Marlon Brown and then forced to the outside by Cortez Allen. Modest gain, just 2 yards on first down.
You think about the rushing attack for the Ravens. Ray Rice, 6 carries, 23 yards. Bernard Pierce, 3 carries for just 7 yards.
Ravens have played 3 straight games decided by 3 points or less. Right now, Baltimore down by 4. To Rice, tripped up, and Rice goes down. Hit low by Lawrence Timmons, gain of 1.5 yards on the play.
You can see the Ravens trying to get that rushing attack started primarily by running right up the middle behind their center, Gino Gratkowski, Marshall Yanda, right guard, and Kelechi Osemele, the left guard. But not a whole lot of production out of the rushing attack.
Rice has 4 straight 1,000-yard rushing seasons. He is just over 200 yards rushing now in the Ravens' 7th game of the year.
Boy, and now they got to use a timeout. And how critical is that in a 4-point game to use your first timeout at 13:52 of the second half.
In a rivalry that usually comes down to a play or two late, Ravens use a timeout early in the third quarter, trailing 10-6 against Pittsburgh. So it'll be third down for John Harbaugh and the Ravens.
The Ravens have had trouble converting third downs today, as they have all year long. Just 35% all year, and so far today, a little bit less than that at just 2 out of 6.
Last week they were 2 out of 14 against Green Bay.
Today's attendance is 62,295. The Steelers and Ravens, thank you.
Ravens have never been below 500 after 7 games under John Harbaugh. He's been to the playoffs every year that he's been the head coach. Flacco's been to the playoffs every year since he was drafted out of Delaware in the first round in 2008. 3rd and 6 now for Baltimore. Just underway, second half.
Delay a game after a timeout. Unbelievable.
Brutal.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
That's just flat embarrassing. For a veteran team like this, veteran quarterback, veteran coach, to go over the sidelines and then come out and not get a playoff before the time runs out.
So now it's a 3rd and 11 for the Ravens.
Hey, watch him. I'm not here.
Motion man is Jones. From the gun. Rush coming. Flacco avoids it. Flacco pump. Flacco's got the angle with a flag thrown. Flacco gets the first down. Penalty marker thrown in the secondary. 12-yard scramble by Flacco.
Polamalu came on the blitz. That's what forced Flacco out of the pocket. And he showed real good speed to pick up the first down, but what about the flag?
Holding. Number 24 defense. 5-yard penalty enforced from the end of the run. First down.
And it's the veteran corner, Ike Taylor, called on the hold for Pittsburgh.
Well, here's Ike Taylor and Torrey Smith battling. And there's the grab right there, the right hand around the hip. Boy, I've seen a lot worse holding in my days. That wasn't much of anything.
First down to the 45 of the Ravens. And flags again.
Start. Number 14, offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And a rocky start to this second half on offense for Baltimore. Just a fantastic day here in Pittsburgh. Dealt with a little bit of rain last night, but it cleared up nicely for this matchup. The Steelers and the Ravens playing for the 38th all-time meeting. Pittsburgh 22-15, including 3-0 in the playoffs against Baltimore. Flacco, soft toss for Rice, and Rice gets out in space and dishes out a little punishment on Cortez Allen.
Boy, and Marlon Brown just made up for that offsides penalty with a great block down the field on Polamalu. That got Ray Rice the opportunity to dish out a little on Cortez Allen, but nice block down the field by Brown.
Rice to the Baltimore sideline, replaced by Bernard Pierce. 2nd and 1 for the Ravens now in Pittsburgh territory.
Hey, B43.
Flacco making a change. On the ground, Pierce. Nowhere to go. Timmons with the penetration for Pittsburgh.
And because the Ravens are having such trouble rushing the ball, Steelers defensively are playing nickel for 90% of this game, with Troy Polamalu actually playing like a rover back near the line of scrimmage. Dick LeBeau very creative in his schemes.
And the activity after the play as Orr got into it with Woodley. 3rd and short for Baltimore. Steelers crowd the line. There may have been a jump. Flag is down. Free play for Flacco. Oh, Flacco gets hit hard in the pocket. Worlds and Timmons combine to bring him down.
They're going to get Polamalu for being in the neutral zone. He could not get back in time, trying to time his the snap count of Flacco was offsides.
Neutral zone infraction. Number 43 defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
So the 7-time Pro Bowler Polamalu's been healthy this year, which has been a switch in recent years for him.
Definitely in the neutral zone there. But how about the shot that Flacco takes right there?
So the line of scrimmage just short of the 41 now. Steelers holding on to a 10-6 lead against Baltimore. First possession, second half. Flacco slings it, incomplete. Rice had it broken up by Polamalu.
Yeah, we're seeing his versatility playing inside, rushing the quarterback now man-to-man on Ray Rice. Dives with his right hand out in front. Just enough to keep Rice from making the catch.
Quick snap,
and there he is again. My goodness.
Another meeting with Polamalu. That's a loss of 2.
Well, here he is playing like a linebacker, finding the hole in the offensive line and getting Rice before Rice can get underway, and that brings up a 3rd and long.
Flacco said about Polamalu, he's a wild man. He just runs all over the place. He disrupts the running game, and he'll just blow plays up at the line of scrimmage, and we've seen that on the last 2 plays. 3rd and 12 now for Baltimore. Out of the gun, deep drop. Flacco fires up the deep ball. Jacoby Jones, incomplete. William Gay drawing the assignment, and the Baltimore drive stalls.
That ball underthrown by Joe Flacco. He had Jacoby Jones by about 3 yards here on Gay. He's open now. Watch Jones have to slow up, try to make the high catch. That allows Gay to come back and knock it away, but that's an underthrown ball by Joe Flacco, and he knows it.
Sam Cook will punt it. Antonio Brown standing at his own 9-yard line to return it for Pittsburgh. Trying to place it inside the 10. This one will take a bounce and roll into the end zone. A touchback. 43-yard punt, but a net of just 23. Roethlisberger and the Steelers offense with a lead when we return. Ben Roethlisberger, 9-5 record in his career against Baltimore. Steelers lead this one 10-6. 10:59 to play in the 3rd quarter. 10 points in the first half. That tied a season high for Pittsburgh. First possession of the second half for the Steelers, and a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Motion man is Antonio Brown. Mike Adams is in once again for Pittsburgh. Play fake. Roethlisberger has the time. Roethlisberger, low throw, and he delivers it. David Paulson, the 2nd-year tight end from Oregon, 17 yards. Now let's check out our Fouts Focus here in Pittsburgh.
Well, the Steelers have struggled all year long running the ball, but last week against the Jets, a run fake provided the big play. Good fake there to Le'Veon Bell. Nice route there by Emmanuel Sanders. That's the beauty of the play action, as we just saw. Even when you're not running the ball well, you can make big plays.
Handoff, Bell. Good cut. But the Ravens were ready, and a flag thrown as he comes up short of the 40-yard line. Smith and Jameel McClain, who is back off the PUP list, a spinal contusion last season.
Number 88, offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Emmanuel Sanders called on that penalty.
Here comes Sanders coming in, working against Elam, and he's just going to grab him and tackle him right out in front of everybody.
Guy Wimper just limped off, and he was replacing Marcus Gilbert. So Mike Adams, who was the starter at left tackle, is now in at right tackle for Pittsburgh in a 1st and 20. Season high for the Steelers, 82 rushing yards today. We come up on 10 minutes to go in the 3rd. Brown goes in motion. They'll set it up on a screen for Brown. Brown gets hit from behind, and he's brought down by Ehedibo. 3-yard gain.
Good creativity by Todd Haley in that 1st quarter. The Wildcat formation, the end around to Brown, and now a read option play run by Le'Veon Bell. And then the unconventional shovel pass for our game's only touchdown. to Heath Miller.
Todd Haley in his second year as the offensive coordinator of the Steelers, the former head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. It's taken some time for him and Roethlisberger to get on the same page. Roethlisberger had a great relationship with Bruce Arians. Flag is down. Roethlisberger over the middle. He connects with Cotchery. And another penalty marker thrown in at the end of the play.
Well, the first flag is going to be on Dumervil. He was clearly offsides. And then after the tackle, Bill Levy came in and threw his flag.
It was an 8-yard gain to Cotchery. Steelers pointing in Baltimore's direction.
There were 2 fouls on the defense. Offside number 58, defense declined. Personal foul and necessary roughness, number 58, defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
So it's a double hit for Elvis Dumervil on the same play.
Watch Dumervil jump off sides here, trying to get ahead of that snap count. Good pickup by Bell. And then a late shot on the quarterback, Roethlisberger, and that moves the ball all the way into Raven territory, thanks to Elvis Dumervil.
Dumervil, 68.5 career sacks. Now in his 8th year in the league, of course, doing most of that damage with Denver. Roethlisberger moves to the outside. It will be Bell again. It's Bell picking his spot, and Bell able to get through it for 7 yards. Darrell Smith, the tackle.
I'm so impressed with his patience. I mean, he's waiting for something to develop in front of him, and then finds the smallest little crease and picks up, what, 7 yards on that run.
He's a big guy, 6'1", 244 pounds, and look what he's done working the middle of the field on running plays. 75 yards on the ground overall for Bell. Again, Roethlisberger will set up as a receiver. 2nd and 3. Brown shifts over. It's going to be Bell. That time the stutter step didn't work, although he picks up 2 yards, met by Chris Canty on the play for Baltimore.
Yeah, Will Johnson is fullback trying to lead the way, but he was stutter stepping as well as the right side of that defense for the Ravens. Saw that one coming, I think.
Guy Wimper is back in for Pittsburgh. It's been 11 games now where the Steelers have not cracked 100 yards. Last time they did it against Baltimore, November of last year, at 134. This is a 3rd and 1. Conventional set for Roethlisberger. Play clock down to 1. On 3rd down, Roethlisberger avoids it initially. Roethlisberger's got room. And a first down. Roethlisberger out of bounds at the 20. Suggs whiffed. It turns into a 19-yard gain for Roethlisberger on the tuck and run.
Well, Terrell Suggs has a real shot at Roethlisberger with his back to him. He's going to get right by Heath Miller and then go right over the top of Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger at the end of this run had a nice block down the field from his tailback, Jonathan Dwyer, but I think the push there at the end by Miller caused Suggs to miss the sack on Roethlisberger.
Longest run for Roethlisberger since 2010. Handoff. Bell shoots through the hole, and Bell is banged down inside the 15. 7-yard gain for Le'Veon Bell.
Now we're not seeing a whole lot of Haloti Nada in the middle of that Raven defense. Came in with a bad elbow, and that's exactly where the Steelers are making their money today, on the ground between the tackles, because number 92 is on the sidelines.
117 rushing yards for the Steelers. That's a new season high for a team that came in ranked 31 in the NFL, averaging 61 yards per game on the ground. 2nd and 3. Roethlisberger. Pump. Roethlisberger is down. Suggs gets to the QB. And that's now 15 straight games with at least 2 sacks for Baltimore, the longest streak in the NFL.
Well, watch this one-handed sack. 16.5 times now he has sacked Ben Roethlisberger. This grabs the back of his jersey, not a horse collar tackle, did not go inside the shoulder pads there. It results in a 4-yard loss.
The 2011 NFL Defensive Player of the Year. Last season, dealt with the Achilles injury. Was a little bit slow when he came back just to get back in the lineup. But Suggs is back to his old self here in 2013 in a timeout taken by Pittsburgh. 5:34 to play. Third quarter, 10-6. Steelers in front.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Pepsi. Live for now. And by Toyota Care. Scheduled maintenance, no cost.
A look through the Great Hall, part of Heinz Field. It's half museum and half Hall of Fame for the Steelers. Pittsburgh right now trying to build on this lead. 10-6 over Baltimore. 5:34 to go in the third. Roethlisberger on 3rd and 7. In trouble again. Roethlisberger is dumped. Flag is down.
Maybe a face mask, though, on the sack.
Roethlisberger takes off his helmet. Arthur Brown getting to the QB.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 58 defense. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Well, 58 is Doomerville.
He's having a bad drive. That's 3 penalties on Doomerville. 2 personal foul penalties. And here you take a sack. Nada gets in there on Roethlisberger, and then the left hand of Doomerville will draw the flag.
So it's Doomerville grabbing hold, and it gives Pittsburgh new life on this drive. A first down just short of the 10-yard line. The veteran Elvis Doomerville. Costly penalty there with Roethlisberger going down on the sack. Bell in the backfield. We come up on 5 minutes to play in the third. Handoff Bell. Le'Veon Bell. Inside the 5. David Paulson with a key block.
And here's Paulson on the wing here working on Doomerville. And again, good patience and vision by Le'Veon Bell. Heath Miller also with a good block. It's both tight ends working for the running back.
Steelers can still get a first down. Flacco watching helplessly from the sideline. 2nd and short for Pittsburgh. Handoff. Bell is dropped. Matt Elam cutting in there and getting Bell down low. Rookie against rookie.
Yeah, Matt Elam doing his best Troy Polamalu imitation there. From the strong safety spot, just shot into the backfield to get Bell before he could get rolling.
Just 1 rushing touchdown against Baltimore this season. 10-6 lead for Pittsburgh, facing a 3rd and 4. 3:45 to go in the third. 12th play of the drive. Operating out of the gun. And flag comes down.
False start. Number 84 offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
False start against Antonio Brown. Back it up for the Steelers.
And again, that type of penalty here really it doesn't hurt the Steelers all that much because it gives the receivers more room to work with. Ball on the 10-yard line. You have another 18 to 19 yards to work with. Watch the receivers in this part of the field will work the back of the end zone if Roethlisberger can extend the pass play.
6 penalties on each team here this afternoon, and this is a 3rd and 9 now for Pittsburgh. Play clock down to 1. Roethlisberger gets the snap off. Pump. Looking. Fires. Broken up. It's Corey Graham making the play on Emmanuel Sanders. 4th down.
It's almost as if the Ravens want Roethlisberger to throw the ball quickly and not have him do his specialty, which is buying extra time as he scrambles around. That time Graham was all over Sanders.
So that's what Lardarius Webb said, that when Ben gets into his secondary routes is when he can be so lethal, because you're just guessing. 28-yard field goal attempt. Sweezum converts. Steelers take a 13-6 lead. 2:56 to go, third quarter. Well, the Steelers chew up 8 minutes off the clock and take a 13-6 lead over Baltimore. Squeezing the 28-yard field goal. Couple of penalties on Elvis Dumerville to keep that drive going. And Pittsburgh now up by 7 against the Ravens. Squeezing will kick it off. Jacoby Jones waiting for it. Over the head of Jones. Touchback. Ravens down by a touchdown. They'll have it at the 20.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Verizon. This Halloween, trade in your old phone for a new one.
Steelers on top of the Ravens. Some early game action. The Jets knock off the Patriots in overtime. Nick Folk the field goal to win it 30-27. The Redskins able to rally against the Chicago Bears, and they outscore them 45-41 for the victory. And the Cincinnati Bengals get it done in Detroit. 27-24 the final. Ravens have it first and 10 at the 20. 6 offensive linemen for Baltimore. Rick Wagner, the rookie out of Wisconsin, is on the field. Pierce, the single setback. Pierce gets the call. And Pierce gets held to no gain. Lawrence Timmons with the tackle. Geno Smith goes for 233 yards, a touchdown, and a rushing touchdown in that Jets win. Robert Griffin III, big numbers in the win over Chicago. A.J. Green, monster stats in that victory against Detroit. And Tony Romo, 317 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks as the Cowboys handle the Eagles. 2nd and 10 now for the Ravens. Play fake. Flacco pulls the trigger. Oh, over the shoulder grab. Torrey Smith against Ike Taylor. Incredible concentration as Smith hauls it in for 41.
You couldn't have better coverage than Ike Taylor has on Torrey Smith. Elbowing each other down the field. Great concentration by Smith. And just a little bit late by Ike Taylor taking a swipe at that ball. Pressure on Flacco, the blitz, and he beat it with the bomb.
Flacco now 147 yards through the air, 14 of 21. Ray Rice is back in. First down in Pittsburgh territory inside the 40. Give it to Rice. And Rice continues to churn the legs to the 30-yard line. It's a 9-yard pickup for Rice.
Boy, did you talk about taking the air out of a stadium and really grabbing the momentum. The Ravens, after that long bomb to Torrey Smith, have the Steelers backing out defensively, looking to contain Flacco.
Baltimore going no huddle. Give it to Rice. Thrown backwards by Polamalu, but he picks up 2 yards, and they'll move the chains. Tonight, 60 Minutes exposes the worst-kept secret on Capitol Hill. Plus, get up close with one of the largest and most amazing creatures under the sea. 60 Minutes, that's tonight only. CBS. Down to 48 seconds to play in the third quarter. 13-6 lead for Pittsburgh. Rice, the hole closed up in a hurry. 1-yard gain as Shamarko Thomas got over there defensively for Pittsburgh.
Thomas did a great job of beating the block of the tight end on that side and got low on Rice. Rice looked like he had something going there at first.
Bernard Pierce replaces Rice, now a 2nd and 9. Tight formation for the Ravens. Flacco to the outside. And Marlon Brown with a clean catch, very close to first down yardage, and looks like it could be enough.
Yeah, the official giving the signal that it is enough for the first down. But he is wide open on the outcut and gets there before Cortez Allen can stop him from picking up the first down.
Brett Kiesel just walked off the field slowly for Pittsburgh. End of the third quarter. 13-6 Steelers. The NFL on CBS.
John Harbaugh is challenging the spot. Check, that's Mike Tomlin is challenging the spot. That see where Brown went out of bounds. His foot is going to go out of bounds. Needs to get to about the 18-yard line. But watch as his left foot comes down. He's about short, about a half a yard. So a good challenge, but maybe not worth the challenge. If you win it, to still third down and about a half a yard.
Starting play in this fourth quarter. Pittsburgh with a 13-6 lead. And Bill Levy is taking a look at this. It was Brown on the catch. Mike Tomlin didn't like the spot. Initially looked like he was short. Official gave him a good spot on the play, but it all happened on the other end of the field. They've already switched sides.
Well, and not only they switched sides, the chains have moved to the other end of the field. You would think that with a challenge flag coming out that they would hold the chains so they would get an accurate reading.
Here's Levy.
After reviewing the play, the runner stepped out of bounds with the ball just beyond the 19-yard line with 14 seconds left. With the clock operator put 14 seconds on the game clock, we will reset the chains. It'll be 3rd and 1, and we will run. Pittsburgh is not charged a timeout.
So the two teams are now walking back to the other end of the field. We're still in the third quarter.
Huh?
Yeah, I know. It feels weird.
We're back to the future here.
The DeLorean came in, and we're going to redo it at the end of the third. So says Doc.
The third down and about a half a yard.
So Flacco trying to get everybody together here. Third and a little less than a yard here for Baltimore. Now the clock is moving, and they just turn around and head to the other end of the field.
The poor chain gang is getting worn out. They're going back and forth and back and forth.
Maybe a little extra something for them at the end of this one. Fourth quarter is coming up, we promise. Aerial coverage of today's game is provided by DirecTV. The Monongahela, the Ohio, the Allegheny Rivers here in Pittsburgh. Ravens now face third and less than a yard. Trying to convert up the middle. Lawrence Timmons meeting the fullback.
He's not even close.
And Vontae Leach denied.
That's a quick hitter by Vontae Leach over the right guard. And Timmons comes in, grabs his legs so he can't leap and pick up the first down. Tremendous defense by the Steelers, crashing in and keeping Leach from picking up the first down. So it was a good challenge by Mike Tomlin.
And now it's fourth down. Harbaugh decides to go for it. Early stages, fourth quarter, 7-point differential. Joe Flacco, he's got it. This drive remains alive for Baltimore.
And really the key on this play is they got up to the line of scrimmage, got in their stance, and didn't waste any time. And he found the right spot to go right over Marshall Yanda and Gino Gradkowski.
So they'll move the chains. Those guys are winded. And we are underway here in the fourth. 13-6 Pittsburgh. Flacco out of the gun. Flacco sets the feet, throws to the end zone. Incomplete. The attempt by Jacoby Jones leaving his feet.
I think Flacco saw the good coverage by William Gay and just let this ball go all the way out of bounds. Jones comes down with it. He's about 6 feet out of bounds. But great coverage by William Gay.
10th play of the drive for the Ravens. They are inside the Pittsburgh 20. Ray Rice back in there for Baltimore. High snap. Rice lunges ahead. Now inside the 15. Lawrence Timmons with a tackle.
Ravens averaged 72 yards on the ground per game so far this year. Today, just 59 yards.
Third down at 7.
Coming up on 5 minutes elapsed on this drive. 3rd and 7 for Baltimore. Flacco flushed out. Flacco on the move. Flacco tries to reverse field. He throws. Flacco! It's broken up. Trying to hit tandem DOS. William Gay was back there defensively as Woodley put the heat on Flacco.
Woodley got a sack in the first half. He comes real close again. Here he is here. This is really a dangerous move right about here by Flacco. Throwing the ball late down the field. Had Doss for a while, but Gay comes over and makes another big play for the Steelers.
Justin Tucker is on for a 32-yard field goal attempt for Baltimore. He's got it. Steelers and Ravens. Another chapter in this rivalry, and a tight one in Pittsburgh. We've had tremendous pictures throughout this broadcast thanks to our fantastic crew here in Pittsburgh. 13-9, Steelers leading the Ravens. 13:04 to go. We're in the fourth quarter. 12-play, 66-yard drive. It took just under 5 minutes for Baltimore. Tucker gets that 32-yard field goal. Harbaugh goes for it on 4th down. Oh, they just put it on the ground, trying to catch the Steelers napping.
And we got 2 penalties on this. The Ravens were offsides, but the ball may have been touched too soon. But this one is coming back. Fans are excited because the Steelers recovered it.
Vince Williams on the recovery. And the officials will now talk it over.
Ravens clearly offsides.
The onside kick.
That's all part of a rivalry game too, isn't it? The unexpected.
Whatever it takes.
There were 2 fouls on the kicking team. Offside, illegal touch of the kick by the kicker. Both of those penalties will be declined. First down.
So it backfires on Baltimore. Medical staff checking out Tucker after the kick.
Here's the offsides right here. This is number 36. That's Jeremy Miles. And there's the touch by Tucker, which happens at about 9 yards. And he paid for it as well.
Now they're working on the left ear of Tucker. He's a tough guy.
That's the first time he's ever had to visit the trainer. I guarantee you, ever. Kickers aren't allowed to have a trainer.
Well, we've got it documented. So Pittsburgh takes over in Baltimore territory with a first down at the 38.
Blue 20!
Felix Jones is in there, ground the motion man for the Steelers. Fake the handoff. Roethlisberger steps up in the pocket. He's got room in front of him. A punt trying to beat the man to the outside, and he's dragged down from behind by Jameel McClain. McClain, who's got solid speed, and just the fact that he's back on the field after what many believed was a season-ending, career-ending injury last year with the spinal contusion.
Yeah, at first it looked like Roethlisberger had a lot of room to run here, but he makes a move here with that pump fake, but it does not fool McClain. He does get 7 yards on the play, though.
That was week 14 of last year, and McClain was told by a doctor after the injury that he probably will not play another down of football. Hand off to Jones. And Jones able to hit that crack and turn it into a 6-yard gain.
It just makes you wonder about the decision to go for that onside kick with all this time left to go in the ball game. And the Ravens, offensively, it seemed like they were getting things rolling.
Pittsburgh Steelers now 136 yards on the ground. They came in averaging 61.
Bill just 10 yards away from 100.
On first down, it's Felix Jones. And he'll fall forward. Darrell Smith, first man there. 2-yard gain for Jones. Now, this was a team, the only one in the NFL, did not have a player over 100 yards rushing on the season. These were the numbers coming into this Week 7 matchup. Bell is at 90 yards on the day. Ben Roethlisberger has rushed for 25, including 19 yards on one run. Second down and 8 now for Pittsburgh. We hit the 11-minute mark of the fourth. 13-9, Steelers in front. Protection holds up initially. Roethlisberger on a short toss over the middle. Felix Jones with a catch. And he's immediately hit by Smith and McLean. 3-yard pickup.
This Ravens secondary is doing just a great job. Roethlisberger wants to get the ball out. That's the style of this Todd Haley offense, is to throw quickly. We haven't seen very many screens today to the wide receivers or to the backs, something the Steelers have done quite a bit earlier in the year, but this secondary playing a lot of man-to-man, doing a good job of taking away Brown and Sanders down the field.
This is only Pittsburgh's second drive of the second half. They had that long 8-minute drive. Baltimore opened up with the football. Then Baltimore went on the drive. And here we are, just about at the 10-minute mark of the fourth. Steelers looking for points. 3rd and 5. Roethlisberger, end zone! Incomplete. Derek Moy, the target.
This is a flat-out 6-point drop right through his hands. Webb with good coverage, but that ball perfectly thrown to the 6'5" Derek Moy.
Moy had just his second career catch earlier today, and Roethlisberger knows that he can't get that one back. Should have been 6 points. 38-yard attempt for Sean Sweezer. Sweezer yet to miss this season. And the streak continues. 16-9, Pittsburgh on top of the Ravens. We're in the fourth quarter.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Ram Trucks. Guts. Glory. Ram. And by USAA, proudly serving the financial needs of current and former military members and their families.
16-9, Pittsburgh leading Baltimore. 19 players on the Steelers roster have never been a part of this rivalry. 18 players on Baltimore's roster. This is the first time that they've experienced it. And a 7-point lead for Pittsburgh. Sweezer kicks it off. Jones will take it out of the end zone. Jones looking for blockers and spilled out short of the 30-yard line by Shamarko Thomas, the rookie out of Syracuse. Joe Flacco on the Ravens offense trying to tie this one up when we come back. Ravens have gone 17 games. If you look back the last time that they didn't score a touchdown. They are yet to score a touchdown here this afternoon, and they trail 16-9. Give is to Bernard Pierce, and Pierce able to accelerate out across the 30 for a 6-yard pickup. Ed Dixon with a block, and Pierce a little bit slow getting up for Baltimore. Pierce will remain in there. Baltimore does not huddle. 9.5 to play. Flacco avoids the rush. Flag is thrown as he dumps it off for Pierce. And Pierce does have enough for the first down, but will it stand?
No, it's not. Devontae Leach was holding.
Holding. Number 74 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
They call it on Michael Orr. Vontae Leach arguing the call. Here is Orr right here. And opposite him is Cameron Hayward. And he pulls Hayward on by the quarterback with a holding call.
2nd and 14. 8 penalties against the Ravens, costing them 62 yards today. Flacco hits his man. Caught by Torrey Smith. 16-yard gain as we send it to New York. JV and Coach Cowher.
Cowher smiles at a goal line stand.
There we go. Kansas City leading 17-16. They forego the field goal on 4th and 1. Right here you can see Alex Smith rolls out. Sean McGrath out of bounds. And now they hold a 1-point lead with used to getting the ball at the 1-yard line.
Iron Eagle.
And a close one here, guys. Ray Rice with the catch. It covers 3 yards. Lawrence Timmons makes sure he doesn't add to it. And the clock is moving. We approach 8 minutes to go in this 4th quarter. 16-9. Steelers leading the Ravens.
Well, it's the ability of this offensive line to protect Flacco against the blitz as they did on the previous play when he got the ball out to Torrey Smith. Great job of protecting the quarterback.
2nd and 7 now for Baltimore. 3rd catch of the day for Rice. Flacco hooks a pass. And he gets it to Jacoby Jones, a clean catch. That covers 4 yards short of a first down.
Boy, great job at dragging that left foot. The right foot came down inbounds, and then watch his left foot just drag the ground right there. Beautiful job by Jacoby Jones.
John Harbaugh said that Jones is just a much better route runner than he was when he got to Baltimore. A big play guy, highly productive in less plays than the other receivers. 3rd and 3. Flacco on the move. He's got Jones again in Pittsburgh territory. 8 yards on the hookup.
That was a really good job of just reading the quarterback in trouble by Jacoby Jones. He found a soft spot in the secondary. You can see Flacco keeping his eyes down the field. That's a really intelligent move by Jacoby Jones.
And a first down for Baltimore now, just shy of a 45 in Pittsburgh territory. Running play to Vontae Leach.
With a handoff.
Just his 5th carry of the season. 4-yard pickup as McClendon meets him.
Well, you wonder about Bernard Pierce. He was injured earlier. Now Leach is the tailback. No Ray Rice, just Vontae Leach.
Shotgun on 2nd and 6. It's Leach who takes a shot from Timmons but holds on to the football and picks up another 4 yards. 3rd and short for Baltimore with 6:22 and counting left in the 4th.
Yeah, Flacco 5 for 5 on this drive as Leach is replaced by Ray Rice. But Steelers are leaving the middle of the field open. More concerned with the outside receivers, Torrey Smith and Jacoby Jones.
Third and 2. Motion man is Doss. Flacco fires in stride. It's caught by Doss, and he got stamped on the play. New set of downs for Baltimore. 13 yards on the pass and catch. Polamalu with the hit.
What a throw by Flacco as he squeezes this one in to Doss right in front of the linebacker, and the stamp by Polamalu may have hurt Polamalu more than Doss.
Line of scrimmage is now the 26. Baltimore is on the move. Ravens trail Pittsburgh by 7. On a give for Rice. And there's not much there. He picks up a yard. Timmons among those along the wall for Pittsburgh.
Well, it's a draw play. It doesn't do much on the ground, but it does put in the minds of the Steelers that they just can't come after Flacco. They have to respect the running play.
We are under 5 minutes to play. 10th play of the drive. Second and long for the Ravens. Here come the Steelers. Ravens handle it. Flacco connects with Jones. Out of bounds, short of the first down, but third and manageable now for Baltimore.
Well, we saw Ray Rice miss the block earlier in the ball game. Watch how he picks it up. He's already eyeing the potential blitzer here. He comes over, finds Woodley. Flacco gets the ball out and brings up a third down and short. Obviously, this point in the game, you've got 2 downs to pick up this first down for Baltimore.
Extra offensive lineman in there. Third and 1 for the Ravens. Flacco rolling. Hits Rice, first down. Rice is brought down at the 13, 5-yard gain.
Yeah, great play action fake there by Flacco. Rolling out, now 8 for 8 on this drive, and Rice slips into the flat without anybody noticing him.
On the day, Flacco now 23 of 32, 214 yards. First down for Baltimore. 12th play of the drive. We hit 4 minutes left. Leach, the ball carrier. Vontae Leach. It may not be the prettiest running play, but it's effective. 6 yards with Leach rumbling.
Well, and it's smart. Watch as he takes his hand off and wraps both arms around this ball. Breaks a tackle there, pulls another tackler, and picks up positive yards.
Second and 4 for the Ravens. Rice now in the backfield. Shotgun for Flacco. On the ground to Rice. Ray Rice trying to push the pile, and Rice is finally driven down.
Now Eugene Monroe gets into it at the end here as he's trying to push the pile. He'll get pulled off that pile by Hayward. Good determination by Rice and the offensive line as they get into the rugby scrum to get the ball down to the 2-yard line.
So it's a first and goal for Baltimore. Down by 7. We are under 3 minutes to play. Take the handoff. Flacco back in the end zone. Incomplete. Clark with a one-handed attempt at it, and Lawrence Timmons able to make the play defensively for Pittsburgh.
Spectacular coverage by Timmons. Did not interfere with Clark. Ball thrown the only spot Flacco could put it for Clark, but the coverage by Timmons was too good.
Second and goal for the Ravens. 2:34 left. Handoff, Rice. Tripped up. Picks up a yard. McClendon and Timmons.
Behind the block of Vontae Leach, cutting it over the middle here. And the submarining there, Kiesel down low as well as McClendon. That was enough to keep Rice out of the end zone.
Third and goal for the Ravens. Looking for the tie. Bootleg. Flacco throws. Wide open. Touchdown. Dallas Clark. The Baltimore Ravens with a long drive down the field and an extra point away from knotting this one up in Pittsburgh.
Another good ball fake by Flacco. Watch Dallas Clark work the back of the end zone. Woodley in no man's land there. He has to pick up Leach. And on the outside, there's Clark beating Ryan Clark. 16 plays on that drive.
It covers 73 yards. Polamalu just jumped the center.
Offsides, but he gets a lot of style points. Watch Polamalu. That'll shake up a kicker. You know, now we'll see how Tucker reacts as he tries this extra point. Fans here obviously loved it.
Unabated. Number 43 defense. Baltimore is elected to have the 5-yard penalty enforced on the kickoff.
Hey, you wonder if they might have taken that penalty, would have put the ball on the 1-yard line, and then you start thinking about going for 2 and ending this game right now.
Would you have done it?
Absolutely. The way Flacco's been operating, I'd trust him.
Tucker remains on the field, and he knocks through the extra point. We are tied at 16-16 with 1:58 to play. A rivalry renewed. The Ravens and the Steelers all tied up. 16 plays, 73 yards. It took 8 minutes and 1 second for Baltimore to tie this one up. Joe Flacco, 9 of 10 on the drive, 60 yards, and the touchdown to Clark. 16-16, 1:58 to play here in the fourth. Tucker kicks it off. Sanders is deep. He's going to take it out of the end zone for Pittsburgh. Sanders down the sideline. Emmanuel Sanders. He takes it all the way. Touchdown, Steelers.
But did he step out of bounds?
And they are going to take it back. Sanders looking at the big screen. Working the sideline right here. Yep. Was he out? Left foot.
Yep, he's out. That heel came down out of bounds.
The ruling on the field is that the runner stepped out, and that is not a reviewable play. First down, Pittsburgh.
So it's back to the 35-yard line for Pittsburgh.
Hey, you can see the heel is down. There's no question about it. Disappointing to this crowd that saw the most exciting play in football, the kickoff return for a touchdown. That was a real risky play by Sanders, even bringing this one out of the end zone.
So now Sean Sweezum will start thinking about the possibilities here with 1:46 left. Steelers have it. They officially place it at the 37. It turns out to be a 44-yard return for Sanders, and he thought he went the entire distance. Over the middle to Cotchery. You talked about this earlier, working now towards the tougher end of the field on field goals, the open end here at Heinz Field. That's what Pittsburgh is facing.
Sweezum is a perfect 13 for 13 on the season. Has a 46-yarder today. His long of the year is 48. His career long is 52.
2nd and 3. Steelers have 2 timeouts to work with. We're down to 1:10 to go in the fourth. Tied at 16. Shotgun for Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger. Flag thrown. Incomplete. Sanders claiming he was held on the play. Lardarius Webb.
Five-yard penalty and automatic first down.
Illegal contact to call against Webb.
That's a break for Baltimore, because it's just illegal contact. Happened before that point. It could have been called pass interference as well, and it would have moved the ball a lot farther down the field.
Kickers are 6 of 21 from 50-plus yards all-time. Heinz Field history. The long is 52. 1 minute to play. looking at 21 more yards to try a 48-yard field goal. Roethlisberger. It's dropped by Miller. He had Brown lurking.
And a ball thrown low. Miller trying to pivot away from the defender. And Roethlisberger kind of just pulled the string on that one. Tough catch.
2nd and 10 for the Steelers.
This is where having a healthy Heath Miller really opens up this passing attack, especially for the outside receivers.
Play clock is down to 2. Roethlisberger fires, the curl by Brown, creating after the catch. And it gets out of bounds inside the 40. Able to make Corey Graham miss and turn it into a 13-yard gain for the Steelers.
Just a little hook route over the middle for Antonio Brown. This is what he gives you. Yards after the catch. Smart play to find the sideline, stop the clock.
Right now, it would be a 56-yard attempt. There's still 50 seconds left and a new set of downs for Pittsburgh.
Another 10 yards would really make it more comfortable for Sweezum.
From the 38. Motion man is Brown. Take the pass. Le'Veon Bell. They push the pile to just inside the 35 and a timeout called. 42 seconds left. Steelers have 1 timeout remaining. This game is all knotted up.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Subway Restaurants. Try the Tuscan Chicken Melt $6 footlong special today. And by Walmart. Get to Walmart and the October savings event going on right now.
Sunday afternoon has turned into Sunday night here in Pittsburgh. 8 of the last 10 meetings between the Ravens and Steelers have been decided by exactly 3 points. Sean Sweezum is waiting for his opportunity. Right now, they're looking at a 53-yard field goal attempt. 2nd and 7 for Pittsburgh, 43 seconds to play. Shotgun for Roethlisberger. He's got Bell just off to the side. Roethlisberger to throw it. Over the middle to Antonio Brown. And now they're in Sweezum range, 11 yards on the catch by Brown and a first down for Pittsburgh.
And now you just let the clock run down. Baltimore should be calling a timeout here, and finally they get it done. A lot of time went off the clock after the catch before the Ravens called the timeout. Good combination route, sharp route by Brown, and the Steelers are in comfortable field goal range.
Couple of questions here with the game tied at 16 apiece. Are you comfortable, if you're Mike Tomlin, with the idea of a 42-yard field goal? Or are you looking for more right now from your offense?
I think that this was the goal, was to get them about this part of the field. They've done that, and now it's just a question, where does Sweezum want the ball? Does he want it on the left hash mark or on the right hash mark? Or right down the middle? Because I would expect Roethlisberger to just place this ball where Sweezum wants it.
Big formation here with Bell in the backfield, Miller in motion. 30 seconds left. And Bell will fall forward for no gain. Maybe a half a yard just inside the 25. Baltimore could hold on to that 1 timeout just to ice Sweezum. They're not going to get the football back. It's mathematically impossible.
Well, the Steelers should call timeout right about now, because if it's a bad snap, there'll still be time for the holder. Actually, with just 3 seconds, that is right on the limit if there's a bad snap and the holder just downs it. But good job of the Steelers getting the ball where Sweezum wants it. A lot of kickers want to aim for the right upright and hook the ball in from this part of the field from this angle.
17 straight field goals made for Sweezum in between 40 and 49 yards. He has not missed this season. 13 of 13 overall. Baltimore does have the one timeout left. We'll see if Harbaugh wants to use it to try to ice Sweezum.
He's not standing next to an official, so he's not going to ice him.
Mesko will hold it. Warren, the snapper, 42 yards away. Sweezum sweeps the leg, and he's got it. Pittsburgh wins. (1916) the Steelers over the Ravens. And the latest chapter in this rivalry belongs to Pittsburgh. For the 9th time in the last 11 meetings between these two teams, the game has been decided by exactly 3 points. Baltimore felt they had a chance to bury Pittsburgh's season with a win. Meanwhile, the Steelers get it done to improve to 2-4. The Ravens hit the bye at 3-4. The defending Super Bowl champions are under 500 after 7 weeks.
And in a 3-point game, how close was it? 287 yards of offense for the Ravens, 286 yards for the Steelers.
The 38th all-time meeting between the Ravens and Steelers. Mike Tomlin sees his kicker Sean Sweezum connect to give Pittsburgh the W. This has been a rough opening 2 months for the Baltimore Ravens. In their first of 3 straight AFC North games, after the bye, they will play at Cleveland, then home for Cincinnati. So a chance to maybe do some damage within the division. And for Pittsburgh, that means just staying afloat after the 0-4 start to the season. Now something to build on at 2-4. 1916 is your final. The Steelers over the Ravens. That'll do it from Pittsburgh as we send it to JB in New York.